of a sudden these great 401ks that are great tax efficient vehicles while you're working now all of a sudden become this tax burden that we all have to deal with. And if you don't deal with it, it can be a significant tax burden, because it's not only that you're paying tax on the money, it also can affect Medicare payments. If you're not working with an advisor that's walking you through how to properly save for retirement, all we're really told is from our employer, what to do. What are they going to do? They sit down once a year, they have somebody come in from the 401k and they say, hey, look, we match 4% or 3%. And so what they're told is, well, at least put in enough to match. So what do people do? They say, well, I'll put in 3% because I get 3%. So I'm really getting 6. Well, okay, that's true. But you need to put in more. So those that want to put in more, what do? They put in maybe 6% or 10%. But where do they put it? Put it in their 401k, because that's what they've been told. Maybe occasionally you'll get somebody that says, well, I've been putting money in a Roth IRA because I was told, that's a good thing to do. Well, that's great. The issue is, and we had a client in on Friday, and they all their wealth really is in their 401ks, which is great. They amassed a pretty good chunk of change. It's about $1.6 million kind of all in between he and his wife. But the issue is, he is now 67, and he's approaching. He's 73 is his required minimum distribution age. So we ran the numbers, and now it's like 150 grand he's going to have to take out of his IRA every year. So we were talking about that. We were saying how efficient a 401k is pre-retirement, right? It is efficient to be investing in a 401k pre-retirement. However, when you get into retirement and you approach that magical age, which is mostly for anybody that's listening, is probably 73, if not 75 for most people now. But now all of a sudden these great 401ks that are great tax efficient vehicles while you're working now all of a sudden become this tax burden that we all have to deal with. And if you don't deal with it, it can be a significant tax burden, because it's not only that you're paying tax on the money, it also can affect Medicare payments. So you can't forget that.
Yeah, I would add to that, we talk about diversification. When you hear that word, what most people think about is, well, I need to have my investments spread out through different types of investments. So when one of them goes up, the other one goes down. But there's different types of diversification, and the one that Brian really is hitting on there is what I like to call tax diversification. So if you've got all of your money in your 401k or an IRA, to Brian's point, that's all tax due money. You want to get money into some other type of taxable things. For example, the Roth IRA that he was talking about is great. I think most people understand that. But you can also put them in a non-qualified investments, brokerage accounts, things like that. So just stuffing 100% of the money that you've got into a 401k is great now, but it's not necessarily great on the back end. Ideally, you're going to have tax diversification in retirement, so it's easy for you to kind of position that right.